On the morning of February 28, 1994, 6 Bosnian Serb pilots took to the skies in a daring mission. Their objective, a strike on a weapons factory, but their flight path took them directly into a NATO-enforced no-fly zone. Leading the group was Ranko Vukmirovic, a pilot of the Bosnian Serb Air Force. The aircraft they flew were Jastreb J-21s, aging light attack jets that were slow, poorly armed, and vastly outmatched by NATO's F-16 Fighting Falcons. To avoid early detection, the Serb pilots flew low, below radar coverage. But as they neared their target, they were forced to climb to 2,000 meters to initiate their bombing run. This brief climb was all it took to trigger NATO surveillance. Roughly 50 miles away, a pair of patrolling USAF F-16s received the alert.
Black Flight, you have 6 bogeys. BRAA 320 for 52 at 7,000. Flanking. Copy that.
NATO had declared the no-fly zone with the aim of ending hostilities in the Balkans. Now the F-16s were moving to intercept. As Vukmirovic armed his bombs and prepared for the attack, a chilling warning came over the radio.
American aircraft ahead of you.
The Serb pilots spotted the contrails of 2 F-16s approaching fast. In past missions, NATO jets had only observed and issued warnings, but had not fired. Vukmirovic thought, if the F-16s had wanted to shoot him, they could have done so from miles away. The F-16s closed the distance and passed overhead in a show of speed and power. Despite the show of force, the Serbian pilots are not distracted and keep their eyes on their objective. Using basic optical sights, they released their 550-pound bombs in a coordinated attack run. The target was struck from multiple directions.
They dropped bombs. Understood.
At the rear of the Serb formation, Zlatan Krnalic watched the final bomb hit.
Target hit. Turning for home.
But the F-16s were already in pursuit. That was the moment NATO gave the order.
Black Flight, you're clear to engage.
Roger, moving to engage. The Bosnian Serb Jastrebs headed northwards, back to their base.
The Americans are behind us. Scatter! Run!
One locked onto the last jet in formation and fired an AIM-120 AMRAAM. The radar-guided missile struck its target. Tearing apart the aircraft mid-air.
Fox 3.
Krnalic witnessed the explosion.
The Americans are behind us. Scatter! Run!
Krnalic flew alone, skimming low over the landscape, but a Sidewinder missile was closing in. The missile exploded near his tail, damaging his vertical stabilizer. His radio went silent. With no way to call for help, he expected a finishing blow. But instead, the F-16 disengaged. Elsewhere, Makarovic and his wingman raced through the hills, trying to shake the F-16s. Another missile struck, this time Makarovic's wingman.
Fox 3. Pesic is down. The American is on me.
The Jastrebs flying at low level to use the mountainous terrain to hide from radar and make their escape back to Albina. A second missile tore through Makarovic's engines. With the aircraft burning around him, he ejected just in time. To the south, Vukmirovic and his wingman, Goran Zaric, listened helplessly as their comrades were shot down. Then they spotted the F-16 behind them. The pursuit continued. The missile struck near Vukmirovic's wing, causing minor damage. But the F-16 broke off. It was out of fuel.
Approaching bingo fuel. 2 bandits attempting escape.
The point at which a plane will not have enough fuel to return, so they pulled off to refuel. However, NATO had already dispatched a second pair of F-16s. As they arrived, Vukmirovic made one last attempt to survive. He dove towards a cliff at maximum speed.
Follow me. Pull up at the last second.
At the very edge of control, the 2 Yastrebs tried to climb. Vukmirovic's jet clipped the ground and exploded. There was no parachute. Zaric, still being pursued, tried to escape through the valleys. The missile struck. Zaric ejected, but at too low an altitude, his parachute failed to deploy. Meanwhile, the F-16s caught up with another Jastreb, Krnalic again, still trying to limp his damaged jet home. He prepared to eject, but instead of firing, the American F-16 pulled alongside. The 2 pilots locked eyes. The Americans saluted and flew away. By now, the Serbs were close to the international border, and the F-16s had to break off the pursuit because NATO was not empowered to engage aircraft outside Bosnian airspace. The remaining aircraft were able to land at Udbina Air Base in the Republic of Serbian Krajina in Croatia. Out of the 6 pilots who flew that morning, 3 were shot down and killed. Krnalic later reflected, "I don't have any bad feelings toward the American pilots. We had our task. They had theirs." This engagement, later known as the Banja Luka incident, marked NATO's first ever combat operation. Captain Robert Wilbur Wright was credited with 3 aerial victories, the most by any U.S. pilot in a single mission since the Korean War. Captain Stephen Yogi Allen was credited with 1. The Banja Luka operation played an important role in shaping both the Bosnian War and NATO. The Serbs acknowledged the loss of 5 aircraft in the incident. The discrepancy probably stems from the fact that an additional aircraft crashed after being hit by a missile explosion while trying to escape in low-level flight. These engagements help show that NATO had adapted to the post-Cold War era and could operate in environments other than a major force on force engagement on the plains of Central Europe.